All right. Well, good Saturday morning if you are here live on the West Coast. Good afternoon if you are on the East Coast. Good evening if you are in France, Spain, or in the United Kingdom. I am here this morning with the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, the king of Sting, the Monte Cristo. We call him MJ. That stands for Michael Jordan, the very best to ever do it. My man, Daryl Roberts. Hey, Daryl, how you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Todd Strand. How you doing, sir?
Oh, man, doing fantastic. I know you got the grandkids with you guys the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We picked them up on Thursday morning, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and it has just been unbelievable. Just doing the things that you do with little kids. And I was talking to you a couple of days ago, and it sure is true. God gives you kids when you're young to go through what you have to go through. Well, if I had 1-year-old and a 4-year-old right now, I would be in trouble. So
yeah, you don't need a workout program right now. You got one just trying to keep up with it, right?
Oh, absolutely. I would definitely hire a nanny. There's no question about it. I'd have a nanny, somebody following them around and letting me do what I need to do. But they are joy. The names are Oliver, Ollie. We call him Ollie. He's 4, and Charlie is about what 18, 19 months. So it has been unbelievable. And seeing they live in Montana, and so coming out here. Riding down the escalator was the very first escalator they've ever been to. So it's that type of scenario.
Wow.
Going downtown, looking around at the buildings and the spectacle, the fear, the sphere, all of that stuff. It has just been amazing. Just the sensory overload, but it's just awesome. You hug them and you kiss them. They actually woke me up this morning and knocked on the door. Hey, Pops, can you come out? Pops. And so it's just a joy. No question about it. I'm glad we do what we do so we can spend the time we do with the kids.
I mean, grandchildren are the greatest blessing ever. And of course, the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance, not just to his kids, but to his grandkids. And that's obviously what you and Maria have set up for the whole family. Sure. On the other end of the spectrum, real quick, you guys are going to get to meet a dear friend of me and Gina's. Her name is Chrissy, and she'll be coming on the yacht with us. To hang out when we're in Miami. She's going to be our guest, but please keep Chrissy in your prayers. She's got terminal cancer, only 45, skin cancer, melanoma. Same thing that happened to RCN founder's brother, David Hart. He was 47. And I don't mean to start on such a somber note, but I was literally just talking to her right before we started this. And it's that reminder that life is so fragile. That we are not here forever. The Bible says we are here, but for a moment. Our life is like the mist. We're here in the morning, then poof, it's gone. And we don't know how many years we have. Some of us will make it to 105, and some of us may not make it to 55. But the key is to live the best life you can in whatever time you've been given. And certainly when you look at the life that Daryl and Maria live, when you look at the life that Danny lives, when you look at the life that Coach D lives, and now Igor and Larissa, and Tatiana and Camila Peraza and all the other ambassadors and all over the world, right? That's the place. If you choose, not everybody wants that life, but if you choose, that's the life we want to help you get to, because again, it can help you do the things you really want to do in life, right? To go the places you want to go, so that you're not one of those people saying someday I'll do this and someday I'll do that. You have to get off the island of someday I'll. This is not a dress rehearsal. I mean, it's going by just so fast. I mean, you blink, and if you're young, it's hard to understand. If you're getting a little older, I'm now going to turn 53 in October. Even if you're in your 40s, you're like, man, my parents used to tell me about that. Couldn't comprehend. Because when you were a kid, like, Daryl's grandkids and Maria's grandkids that are there, from one Christmas to the next takes forever. I mean, forever. Hey, but it's 1/4 their life, 1/5 their life. I mean, Christmas is so far away. As you get older, like, it's going to be Christmas again. How is that possible? I just put the stuff up in the attic. I mean, so you're like, I can't believe it's here again. It just starts going faster. So again, please keep Chrissy in your prayers. And again, I only brought her up just because it's a reminder that, that hug the people you want to hug and spend the time with the people you want to spend time with. And that's a big part of what we're going to talk about even today. That, a lot of us have kind of bought into the wrong model, or bought into an outdated model, right? I'm going to go, guys, take you guys through some stats here. I think you guys might enjoy. Let me get my thing here real quick. Walk you guys through some numbers you might enjoy. Hold on real quick. Oh, I'm getting my PowerPoint here ready, Daryl. I know that me and Gene are getting ready to take our world tour. We leave on Tuesday for Paris. And then we're going to go from Paris. We're going to head over to Barcelona. We're going to meet with some reps in Barcelona. So we're meeting with reps in Paris, meeting with reps in Barcelona. We're doing a big meeting with David Hart and Adela in Madrid, Spain. Then after Madrid, we're going to go to Copenhagen. Never been there before, in Sweden. That's going to be fun. Then from there, we're going to head over to London. Then we're going to hook up with some of the reps there in London. Yay. Then we're going to go see my pops for a couple of days. Then we're going to hook up with you and Maria and Chrissy and everybody else in Miami. So it's going to be a heck of a tour. We're going to be gone for about a month, but obviously we're going to be doing business every step of the way. And how cool is that? That you can build a life, build, you can actually go live your life and build your career around your life instead of people trying to live a life around their career, right? Because the opposite doesn't work so well.
Build a career around your life.
Well, I got faked out by the slides here, Daryl. So sorry for the delay here.
Well, no, go right ahead.
I saw that picture of the Corvette. I thought that was the slides. That was the original source of where I got the picture. I'm like, how come this isn't loading?
Well, Todd is so right when you talk about it, and we're just programmed ever since we're grown, ever since we're babies growing up, and we're taught to go to school, get good grades, and then go work for somebody else, and that's just the thing that we actually learn, and people need to understand there's more to life than that, and that's the battle that we fight every day. And I'm just so fortunate and so happy, so excited. Some of the people that we're talking to, Todd, every day, people that have recently signed up, are just so blown away with the potential of our company, and so the next group of leadership that is arising in our company is just awesome. I mean, we were on the phone with Larissa and you yesterday and the day before, and Igor, and man, it just seemed like she was a kid in a candy store, a kid, getting ready to open up all the presents, just the energy, the idea, the things that are going on in her life, and she's not wanting to sit back on her laurels. So I was just blown away with just her energy and her excitement, and that's what Todd and I and some of the other leaders are going to be talking about today, tomorrow, last week, last month, etc. And just so you guys know, over the next couple of weeks, Maria and I are going to be taking over this broadcast, but we're going to be looking for some help. We're going to be looking for some of you leaders that are out there that are having some success, that have some messages that you want to share on a Saturday, and we want to invite you on. So I want some of those of you that have some incredible messages, things that are working in your organizations, people you want to talk about, and stories that you want to tell. Get back in touch with me. Reach out to Todd. Reach out to me, because the next few weeks or so, Maria and I, Todd's going to definitely try and plug in as he can, but there's going to be some times that he won't. And we want to bring some other leadership up here. Those of you have some messaging. So get back with us as well as soon as you can. We're going to be scheduling this here over the next several weeks.
Yeah, we're also inviting, I know Kwani's going to take over Thursday nights. If you guys don't remember Kwani, we had her on a few weeks ago with Sandy, and they were out of Chicago, and she's the one. I mean, it was unbelievable. They were both so incredible. And I couldn't think of a better place to replace Danny on a Thursday night than Kwani. She is the living female personification of all of that energy, all that excitement. We still got to do a Wednesday night, but we're going to have some brand new people here throughout the week, because Danny's going to be in Europe for a few weeks. David Hart will be in Europe for a few weeks, so will I. And we'll try to be on the training call. The challenge is that the events are ending at the time the training call here is starting. So 9 a.m. here is 6 p.m. in France, 6 p.m. in Madrid, and the event will be ending at that very moment. Everyone's doing the pictures and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get everybody on Facebook, but I don't know how well we'll be able to break away and say hi, but we'll do our best. But I want to walk you guys through some slides here real quick. Daryl hit the nail on the head just 2 seconds ago, right? I mean, the path to the American dream. For these kids, this is a real picture. They were college graduates in the 1960s. Hey, go to school, get good grades, get a degree, get a job. It's all going to be okay. And of course, today people realize it ain't going to be okay. That is no longer the case. That is an outdated model. That is expired, right? That is just not the vehicle that is working for people today. But understand that the vehicle that got you there yesterday is probably not the one you want to take to where you want to go today, right? I mean, one point, man, you were on the horse and buggy. That was the best vehicle you had. Then came the Model T4. Man, I'm upgrading my vehicle, right? Then they got that 1960 Chevy green truck there. And then you got that 1980 I think that's a Honda Rabbit, right? I mean, along the way, you want to upgrade the vehicle. Well, a lot of people have not upgraded their model of thinking. They're still thinking, go to school, get good grades, get a degree, get a job. It's all going to be okay. In spite of the fact that the federal government, the United States government, at the highest levels, the Supreme Court, the executive branch, the Congress is debating whether or not we should have a federal bailout for all of these college kids because they can't even pay back their student loan debt. And whether you're for that idea or against that idea, that's not the point. The point is what part of federal bailout sounds like something's working. I mean, clearly not working. And yet people are still, marrying themselves to that model, still thinking that that's the way. And so my question for you is, which vehicle is going to get you where you want to go faster? That truck you see there on the far side of the garage or the blue Corvette on this side of the garage? By the way, for those of you who don't know, that is actually Dave Hart's garage. He owns both those vehicles. Now, that is a show truck, but that's some kind of a 1955 Chevy, right? If you get in that thing, you're lucky to keep it between the lines, right? It's like, man, people had to work in the old days to steer these things, right? You get in that Corvette, I drove it the other day, man, that puppy just, flies down the road and practically drives itself. And he's got all kinds of instruments. By the way, you're going to love this, Daryl. When you're in the Corvette, it actually tells you how many G's you're experiencing, right? It's the kind of thing you think about in airplanes, right? How many G's? The Corvette literally tells you how many G's you're experiencing as you go around the curves. It lowers itself to the ground, hugs the road. I mean, it's crazy, right? But which vehicle is going to get where you want to go faster? Well, guys, this has all led to the explosion of what's called the gig economy. You see the platforms every day. You Airbnb, Fiverr, Uber, TaskRabbit, all these different platforms. In fact, a lot of us think of these platforms as technology platforms. But the truth is that they're not technology platforms. They're not technology platforms. They're entrepreneurial platforms. And so I'm going to walk you guys through, again, some stats here as to why these things are exploding. Now, number one, I had it up there just a moment ago, the fact that there's been an explosion in student loan debt. It's nearly quadrupled. You have college graduates living with their parents. They can't afford to pay back their student loan debt. I mean, this is an epidemic that's happening, and not just in our country, all around the world this very moment. People are looking at Social Security. This article just came out last month. Average Social Security checks $1,830. You're going to give up your life, go to a place you don't like working, for a boss that's spelled backwards, double SOB, sucking on the tailpipe of the car in front of you, right? You're stuck in that traffic commute, doing that every single day to barely pay your bills, to struggle to get by, just so that when you retire 40 years, 50 years from now, wow, I got my $1,800 check coming in. Life is great, man. I am living the dream. I mean, guys, you've got to upgrade the model. Now, the top three reasons that people are choosing the gig economy, right? Flexible scheduling, passionate work, and they want to be entrepreneurs, right? I mean, again, these are the trends that are happening in the world today. We are going from the employed type economy to the production-based economy, right? The gig economy. And you can see here the stats. They're showing how many people are looking to become self-employed in the coming years. 2017, there was 57 million. To 2021, 67 million. 10 million more people joined the gig entrepreneurial revolution. Here's 2023, 73 million. We're up 16 million from just 2017, 6 years ago. And they're projecting this into 2028, where you're going to have 90 million people. I mean, guys, we represent part of the gig economy, showing people how they can get into the travel business, and work part-time, spare time, work in the nooks and the crannies of your day. Whenever someone says, man, I have no time. That line from Daryl Roberts, this business was specifically designed for people with no time, for people with no money. This was made for you. This was made that in your busy schedule, I don't care how busy you are, here's how we can begin to build a business that's going to do incredible things for you. Now, we talk about the gig generation, Gen Z and the millennials. They happen to be the ages of 11 to 42 years of age. They represent 2/3 of the global population. And as you can see here on the slide, it's showing you the stats of the number of this group that want to participate in the gig economy. And obviously, the younger they are, the more they're saying, I ain't going to go to some cubicle for the rest of my life just so I can be dead or dead broke. They are foregoing that, which tells you that the explosion of entrepreneurial ventures is just beginning. The guys, these are the stats, these are the numbers, these are the trends. And again, going back to those platforms that we think of as technology platforms. Oh, Airbnb, man, how cool is that? Uber, man, I can get a car anytime I want right on my cell phone, man. Cool technology, right? You think of things like YouTube, right? Oh, man, YouTube, man, that's Google. That's a brand new technology platform. You think of DoorDash, man, they can drop food off right on my front door. Amazon, man, I can order anything in the world, man, they drop it on my front doorstep. We think of these companies, all of these platforms, we celebrate them. We talk about them every day, and we tend to think of them in a technology way, in which you may have not realized is that every one of them is an entrepreneurial platform. Every one. What is Uber? It's a way for people with their own car to make some extra money. That's what Lyft is. What is Airbnb? A person wants to rent out their own home to make some extra money. There's people even renting out their cars now, right? I'm going to be gone for 3 months. I'm going to rent out my car, let somebody drive it while I'm gone so I can make the payments to the car company. Well, while I'm doing something else. People are looking for ways to make extra money. What is DoorDash? A way for people to go pick up food and drop it off at your door so they can make some extra money. What is Amazon? Now, you think that Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, is the guy selling all that stuff, but that's not true. 70% of what gets sold from Amazon is little independent entrepreneurial people like you and I that are buying stuff. We're shipping it into Amazon, right? They call that FBA, and we ship it into their warehouse. And when people buy it from their warehouse, they ship it to your front door. They have to do all of this prep work and packaging and labeling. I got a good buddy that does it, but that's where most of the stuff from Amazon comes from. eBay is no different. YouTube, where do those 1 billion videos on YouTube come from? YouTube has never made a video. All the videos you see on YouTube are people like you and I making videos, right? Because we're trying to generate money. We're trying to generate attention. We're trying to sell ads against our video, hoping it's going to go viral. Every one of these is just an entrepreneurial platform, people looking for ways to make money. But I want you to look at the actual stats of how people are doing with these entrepreneurial platforms, right? Number one, they have no fixed income. And in the surveys, they said that was the number one thing holding people back. There was not a predictable check that I could realize every single Friday, right? So it's a little bit of a up and down kind of a thing. It's not consistent. That's not the case here at Travorium, right? If you go out and build a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, whatever level business you want to build, every Friday, you know exactly what your check is going to be. There is a consistent stream of income that's coming to you on an exact day, right? We have a superior model to what's being done out there. By the way, these are the actual stats, average monthly income from all of those other gigs, whether it be Airbnb, TaskRabbit, Lyft, Uber, DoorDash, Postmates, Etsy, Fiverr, GetAround. And as you look at the numbers, those are in dollars. You're like, wait a minute. Airbnb, they're only making $924 a month. Yeah, that's it. They're only making $924 a month. The average Uber driver is $364. Well, I know someone that makes $3,000. Well, again, you take the number of drivers divided by some are doing well because they're doing it all day long compared to others that are trying to do it part-time, and the average income is $364. Guys, compare that to our one-star directors. I got involved. I told, by the way, forget one-star director. If you just tell 3 people, the travel benefits alone that you're getting at no ongoing cost to you are worth a heck of a lot more than you're going to make over here at, Uber. I mean, just getting that alone. But when you become a 1-star, I got 8 on the left, 8 on the right, earning $400 to $700 per month. I think Dave Hart said the average check's $569, something just shy of 600, right? So let's just call it $600 a month. That's twice what you're going to make at Uber. And people aren't even calculating that when I'm driving my car at Uber, I'm running the car into the ground. Hey, man, I just made $100 today. Well, how much did the gas cost you? Oh, yeah, I forgot. I had to pay for gas. By the way, you because you drove all those miles, you're going to change your oil a lot more often. Oil changes are $120 nowadays. You're wearing out your tires. If you looked at you're driving your car into the ground. You don't even realize that's not even your money because you're going to have to replace your car in a few years because the thing's going to break down. So again, we're just talking about the average person, what they're making. Now, let's go back to these Gen Z people for a moment. Now, this is an article I've been talking about quite a bit lately. This came out July the 5th. This is Fortune magazine. 2/3 of the global population, Gen Z and the millennials, again, they're between the ages of 11 and 42. 2/3 of the global population not only wants to be self-employed, But these are people that say travel is not a luxury. It is a necessity, that they would rather have a dream vacation than buy a new couch or a new car. Okay. 2/3 of the global population between 11 and 42, which shows you the 42-year-olds are just now getting to their peak earning years. And those 11-year-olds are 31 years away. And so for the next 50 years, there is going to be an explosion in travel, already the single largest industry in the world, and an explosion in the independent gig entrepreneurial type of ventures. And some of you are out there like, I don't know who to talk to. Hello, look at the stats. People are absolutely looking for new ways of making money. And when you look at the thing that we're really offering, guys, as a company, we're showing moms and dads how they can take their families on incredible vacations without having to tap into the current family budget. That is the big idea here. And when I try to paint the picture for people, and it's the story that I use the most, that seems to work the best. When people are like, well, there's a lot of travel companies out there. What makes you guys different? Or, I got 30 seconds. What can you tell me in 30 seconds? I say, look, how many moms and dads, how many hundreds of millions of moms and dads dream of taking their families on vacations? Well, all of them. So there's no lack of dreams. There's only a lack of finances. And if I can show mom how she can legitimately book at the travel agent rate up to 70% off, and she can tell 3 of her friends how to do the same thing, and her kids get vacations for virtually nothing, do you think that idea might fly? Yeah, I could see it. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. You got a video on this? I mean, in just a few seconds, you can get people to like, okay. I mean, you're right. Mom is going to go to bat to get her kids' dream vacations, right? It's something everybody dreams of, but how many are actually doing it? Very few. We make those dreams possible. And when you look at Ambassador, Deborah Taylor and Guy Taylor, right? I mean, their story of income, compare what they have done to the gig economy I just showed you. Some of the biggest platforms in the world. Again, eBay, Amazon, Uber, Lyft, YouTube. I mean, all of these platforms are being propped up by people trying to make some extra money. Average Uber person is only making $384 a month. Average Airbnb person, I got to own a home. I own a home. I'm only making $984 a month. And look at Guy Taylor. A lot of you guys know the late, great Guy. You've heard the story. If you've not, Deborah and Guy got signed up. They were in their early 60s. Deborah had worked for 2 presidential administrations and was now unemployed and, hurting financially. Guy had some health issues. Deborah signed up first, told 3 people. Of course, she's now earning more than she's spending. She's got the membership at no ongoing cost to her. She's got all those travel points coming in. They ain't costing her nothing. She's turning those travel points into amazing vacations all over the world. Pastor Guy said, man, I got to do the same thing. Went and told 3 people, man, now they got 6 trips between the 2 of them. They're living in resorts, visiting home. All their friends and family are seeing what they're doing, saying, hey, can we do the same thing? They begin to earn money, a few telling a few. Well, Deborah was at $3,000 a month. Pastor Guy was at $2,000 a month. And then Pastor Guy's, health issues came back. And I think a lot of you guys know he went to be with the Lord. And when he died, he was making $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year. And he's about to become a 1-star ambassador. I think we're 28 months later, somewhere in that neighborhood, right? Meaning he's about to have gone from $24,000 a year to $130,000, $140,000 a year in 28 months since he passed away. The gig economy, Amazon, eBay, Uber, Lyft, YouTube, they got nothing that comes close to what I'm describing right now. No one's selling the thing that we're selling. The one thing that everybody wants to do, travel. The one thing that everybody dreams about. And if you just want to become a 1-star, it's an extra $5,000 to $8,000 a year. You want to become a 2-star, it's an extra $2,000 a month. You want to become an ambassador, it's $10,240 a month. Compare that to all of the other side hustles, all of the other side gigs. And again, you got 2/3 of the global population out there thinking, man, I got to find a different way. This idea of go to school, get good grades, get a degree, it ain't working anymore. And they're driving Lyft and driving Uber and doing all these crazy things, but there ain't no real money there either. And they're all saying, man, I dream of traveling. And here you are with the perfect gig opportunity where even Pastor Guy, after he passed away, could go from $24,000 a year to $130,000, $140,000 a year. I mean, this is far superior than anything that they have with a product that the one thing everybody wants to do. And when you look at subscriptions, and some of this data here came from Danny, big shout out to him. sent me this incredible video that had all of these stats. This is McKinsey and Company. If you don't know who that is, it is one of the top 3 consulting firms in the world that every major company hires. And these were their stats. The number of subscription services that people had in the year 2000 versus, going all the way to 2025. There's an explosion in subscriptions. You hear Dale and Maria talk about that, right? You got the Hulu membership, got the Costco membership, got the Sam's Club membership, got the Spotify membership, Apple Music, Pandora, Netflix. I got Microsoft 365 membership. Memberships are exploding because people buy memberships to things that are going to save them money. Look at the number of subscribers for Netflix, 200 million, Spotify, 365 million, Amazon, 150 million. That's why I laugh every time someone says, Todd and Gina, the number 1 income earners. Guys, we got a few thousand people here. Number one, it's like Starbucks. When they were 16 years old, they had 17 stores. And you're like, they got the top producing store. Guys, we're about to have 55,000 stores, right? I mean, the top income earners ain't even heard about the company yet. We are just getting started. But understand, we are tapping into every single trend you can think of, whether it's 2/3 of the global population that wants to travel, 2/3 of the global population is looking for a gig economy, or whether it's this explosion of subscription services, this kind of convergence of all of these things intersect at a place called Travorium. Dave Hart is not a finalist for Entrepreneur of the Year because he's a dummy. He understands what's happening in the economy, and you guys are here ahead of all of those kind of trends. Now, let's look at Amazon's revenue that's happened since this explosion, from 6.9 billion in 2004 to 350 billion today. Guys, that's the kind of explosive growth that lies ahead for us too. Spotify, 155 million in 2010. Guys, that was only 13 years ago. 12 billion today. And how about Netflix? 32 billion, right? From just 49 million back in 2000. I mean, so again, it's the explosion of these kinds of services and the members that they represent. So just giving you guys some stats about where we sit as a company, what we're doing, where we're going, what we're trying to accomplish, and all of you, where you happen to sit. And obviously the biggest thing is you just have to take action. The challenge for so many people is you're just not in the game. I got to talk to a great guy last night, Daryl, Damon. He signed up his cousin. And the guy actually holds records in Colorado. He was at CU, he was a running back, a defensive back, holds records there in Colorado. Now today he's coaching high school football, right? Some old coach. And it's funny, when we first got on the phone, we're talking a little bit of football. And then he says to me, Daryl, literally, he goes, the problem, the thing that holds kids back is they just don't do the things they're supposed to do. And if you just do the things you're supposed to do, it's amazing what can happen. I'm like, well, coach, you're about to come to a place, because he just signed up, where if you do the things you're supposed to do, you're about to get rich, right? This is a place where average people with above average ambition can absolutely cash in. You just simply have to be willing to go to work and take action. And the problem is that most people ain't even in the game. And I love the baseball analogy. You can go to the plate, and this isn't like regular baseball where 3 strikes you're out. In entrepreneurialism, you get to go to the plate and you get unlimited swings. It doesn't matter how many times you miss. It doesn't matter how bad you look, and you only need one hit. One hit is all you need. And most people, the reason they're broke is they're sitting in the dugout. They haven't even stepped up to the plate and, well, I don't know how to swing the bat. And what if I look bad? And what do people think? Who cares? Just get out there, start taking your hacks. And if you would, magic can happen. So that's my opening dialogue for this morning, Daryl. I'm going to throw this back over to you.
Opening, Todd, that was a slam dunk, dude. Unbelievable. Well, guys, again, we have the best opportunity on the face of the earth. Maria and I, we come from travel background back in the day, and there's no company out there that does what our company does. Todd just broke it down in a way that everybody should just be salivating this morning, realizing that you're in the right place at the right time. When you take a look at these other companies that are out there, you take a look at Uber, you take a look at all these companies that are out there, the only ones making money is the ones who set it up, right? So you think you're trying to do something a little bit different, but at the end of the day, you're still away from your family. You're still doing things that are costing you more money than you're actually earning. So, Todd, again, that was just right on point. What we have here, I would consider, is the perfect opportunity to grow and build something huge. Now, the one challenge that's out there, here is one of the challenges, is that people let failure cause them to not succeed. And that's the biggest challenge that we run into. You know, Kobe said it best, is that failure is not even real. Failure is just an opportunity for you to learn. And one of the things we talk about all the time is trying to get you to understand. Todd just talked about batting, bat as many times as you want. Calling Danny was probably our 350th phone call. What if we would have stopped on phone call number 5, like a lot of you do, or a lot of people in your organizations do? What if you just stopped on phone conversation number 15 or 20 or 100 or 200? Man, this is not working. Even though we've got the best company out there, people just don't get it. It's too good to be true. What if you would have stopped? So the failure challenge is the reciprocal of what we're talking about. If you just don't quit, if you just continue to swing the bat, you're eventually going to find a Todd Strand, a Gina Strand, somebody that sees it, somebody that you don't have to train, somebody that you just got to plug in and duck and get out of the way. That is the biggest thing. And we talk about that all the time. What you don't change, you are choosing. Todd, I've got a TED Talk video. I showed it probably 6 months ago, and it's so apropos to what we're talking about right now, and it's about failure. So the point I'm going to add on to what Todd's talking about here today is that, guys, if you don't let failure stop you from succeeding, your life is going to be unbelievable. Again, it's the law of sowing and reaping. If you're going to continue to sow, you are going to reap. Now, if you've got to watch every TV program out there, if you've got to, go to everything that doesn't help you succeed in our business, then of course we're not talking about that, because we also train on your success is equal to the right amount of time plus the right activities. Right amount of time plus the right activity. So if you're not doing that, you could be here for 5 or 10 years and there's nothing that's going to change for you in your life, in your business. Nothing is going to happen for you. But if you apply the simple basics, sharing product, sharing opportunity, building for the events, and the number one of all of those is self-improving, guys, you will be a huge success in our company. And then when you understand that most companies, to reach the levels that we talked about, you're going to have quadruple the number of people on your team, maybe quadruple times 10. So when you see that vision and value and you're willing to go to work, you're willing to pay the price, you're willing to do the do over and over again until you find the group of people, the leadership and the organization that's going to take you to the level, that's what it's all about. But the biggest number one thing that takes people out is failure. You talk to 3 people. Some of you may talk to 150 people. But again, you don't get that success quick enough. We live in the microwave society, and well, it's not happening quick enough. This doesn't work. Let me go drive Uber and make it $300 a month. That just doesn't make any sense. Yes, they pay you the money and you think you're having success, but at the end of the day, when you're doing the accounting, you really are not having any success whatsoever. So I got this video, Todd. He's going to break down the failure. If you can just get through and not look at it as failure. Some of you, no matter how many times we talk about it, you still look at it as failure, and it hurts you. And I understand that. But one of the messaging that Todd and I talk about all the time for years is that it's a learning process. It is a step through. And if you can get this point that the TED Talk guy, I listen to TED Talks all the time, and if you understand this point, your success is guaranteed. Check this out.
Now, while you're loading the video hands-free, I love how you always do that. I'm getting my pen and paper ready. Hope you guys got your pen and paper ready.
About a year ago, I asked my YouTube followers to play a simple computer programming puzzle that I made with a buddy. The object of the puzzle was to get your car across the maze by arranging these code blocks that represent typical computer programming operations, such as if-else statements and while loops. Once you thought you had a good code, you would hit run, and your car would move based on the commands you had in the program. So I asked my YouTube followers to play it because I said I wanted to prove that anyone from any background could learn to code. 50,000 of them took the challenge and attempted the puzzle. But the truth was that I didn't actually care about proving that anyone could learn to code. What they didn't know is that we actually randomly served up two slightly different versions of the puzzle. In one version, if you hit run and you weren't successful, you didn't lose any of your starting 200 points. We showed you this message. However, in the other version, if you hit run and again you weren't successful, we showed this slightly different message, stating that you lost 5 points from your starting 200 points. That was the only difference. In one version, if you failed, we simply took away 5, no value in the real world, no one will ever see these completely meaningless fake internet points. That minor difference is crucial to keep in mind for the results I'm about to show you from the 50,000 data points we collected. For those who were penalized for failed attempts, their success rate was around 52%. For those who were not penalized, their success rate was 68%. That statistically significant delta of 16% was really surprising and almost seemed too hard to believe until we looked at another piece of data that we collected, which was attempts to solve before finding success. It's shown in orange right here. So those who didn't see failing in a negative light nearly had 2.5 times more attempts to solve the puzzle. As a result, naturally, they saw more success and therefore learned more. So if you think about that and sort of unpack these results, the trick to learning more and having more success is finding the right way to frame the learning process. And this observation seemed really profound to me. It made me wonder, what if you just framed the learning process in such a way that you didn't concern yourself with failure? How much more successful could you be? How much more could you learn? And the next thought was that if this is a real effect, clearly there must be some evidence for this in real life. It made me think of toddlers. It's my boy. I helped make that. They are constantly trying new things, and they certainly aren't concerned with failure. When my son learned to walk, he didn't think about how dumb he might look if he fell down. And as his parents, we didn't punish him if he wasn't successful either. The focus was always on the end goal, and we celebrated the successes with him. And as a result of constantly failing and trying and discovering new things during that phase of our life, we discover so many more new capabilities within ourselves, and it's not even close to any other time in our life. But maybe using a toddler is sort of cheating because their brains are different than ours. To make the case that perhaps they aren't that different than us, I'd like to tell you about a plumber I first met when I was 8 years old. He was Italian. When Super Mario Brothers came out, my friends and I became obsessed. Like, we wanted to get to the castle and rescue the beautiful Princess Peach from the evil Bowser. We get to school and ask each other, like, dude, what level did you make it to? Did you pass the game? We never asked each other about details on all the different ways we might have died. When it comes to games like this, no one ever picks up the controller for the first time, and then after jumping into a pit thinks, I'm so ashamed, that was such a failure, and they never want to try again, right? What really happens is they think, oh, I've got to remember, there's a pit right there. So I think next time I'm going to come out with a little more speed, I'm going to jump a little bit later. The focus and the obsession is about beating the game, not how dumb you might look if you get hit by a sliding green shell. And as a direct result of that attitude, of learning from but not being focused on the failures, we got really good, and we learned a ton in a very short amount of time. We were the right side of this graph. This is what I call the Super Mario effect, focusing on the princess and not the pits to stick with the task and to learn more. This caused me to reflect and realize that there were lots of other examples from my own personal experience where this attitude of life gamification, this Super Mario effect, led to more success and therefore more learning. So I have a science YouTube channel where I will sometimes use my engineering skills to build things such as the world's largest super soaker, or the Guinness World Record world's largest Nerf gun, or maybe this snowball machine gun, yes! Fashioned from a leaf blower. That's my niece. Those are my nephews. I haven't quite figured it out, but when it comes to me, their uncle, they seem to have some trust issues. So these builds usually take me about 2 to 3 months, but there was one that took me 3 years. Basically, I wanted to make a dartboard where you could get a bullseye every time. The idea was that if you throw a dart, we could like track it through the air, and then we'd move the board to sort of like catch a bullseye. And so once we did the math, we realized that if we wanted to track the dart for a typical like game of darts, typical velocity, we would basically have to both track the dart and to move the board the same amount of time it takes for a human to blink once. No big deal, right? So I'm not going to bore you with all the details and the failures and the setbacks from a lot of metaphorical sliding green shells and those pesky hammerhead bros. But eventually we figured out it would take something that looks like this, which is 6 stepper motors and motion controllers, a Vicon motion capture system with 6 cameras, and just a ton of tweaking and rewriting the code. But finally, eventually, we arrived here. What's interesting is when I look back on that process, like I can honestly say my attitude towards that was the same attitude I had toward like rescuing the princess from Bowser. Like, of course, each failure and setback sucked. It stung. But it was no different than like falling in that pit on level 8-1, and they're like, and you gotta go back to the level and try again. Like, it was always like, okay, that sucked, but what did we learn from that? Like, what can we do next for it? Let's hit it again. And this concept of life gamification is more than just like, have a positive attitude, right? Or never give up. Because those sort of imply you're having to endure against your true desire to quit. I feel like when you frame a challenge or a learning process in the way I'm describing, you actually want to do it. It feels natural to ignore the failures and try again. In the same way, a toddler will want to get up and try and walk again. Or in the same way, you want to keep playing Super Mario Brothers. Or in the same way, the group on the right had a desire to stick with that puzzle 2.5 times longer. They weren't getting paid to do that. Nobody was forcing them or watching them. It was just them on their computer alone in their house. Their outlook made it so they wanted to keep trying and learning. And the icing on the cake for the dartboard was I took it on Jimmy Kimmel and challenged him to a game of darts. And I'll just set this clip up by saying 2 things. The first is we also had a mode on the board where if your buddy had it and threw a dart, the board would move the other way. And the second is that we couldn't get this thing working during rehearsal, and it was just barely kind of creeping along. I get up to stand in the elevator, which is the door that moves up before you go out on stage. I look to the right, all 6 cameras had failed. So my buddy John is feverishly like restarting all the cameras as I'm going out onto stage knowing this, and there's like 4 things in bits, and I work up to the dartboard as the sort of grand finale. So just keep that in mind as this clip starts. Like, that's where my headspace is. 3 freaking years, and it comes down to this moment. What you're gonna do is you're gonna give this dart to your buddy.
Okay.
And you're gonna challenge him just to like hit the board.
Just try to hit the board.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
All right, hot shot. You gonna double or nothing?
All right, yeah, all right,
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and so then I step up
This
here.
does this automatically.
That's right.
And you built this.
That's right.
Yeah.
I step up. Here we go. Fake it till you make it. I will say, in all of our testing, literally, we never had a dead center bullseye as much as that one right there. And so, like, after that, I haven't even touched the board since. I'm like, I'm so done with it. And I really believe that if you reframe, like, the challenges, it can make all the difference. I have a simple thought experiment to sort of showcase this. Let's say I gave you a test, and it had instructions on it that you would carry out. And to do that, it had sort of buttons like this. And the instructions would say something like push button 3 for 5 seconds, and then push button 6 for 1 second, then push buttons 3 and 5 for 6 seconds, and so on. And unless you carried out the instructions on page 1 exactly, you couldn't see the other 32 pages of the test. How much would I have to pay you to take that test for an hour? Now suppose I changed the word test here to game, and I rotated this. And for the input device, I shrunk the buttons and moved them here, and I gave it a cool paint job. And maybe different button styles. And then instead of using words, I represented the tasks you needed to accomplish visually like this. Note the output is the exact same. You have to push these buttons in a very specific manner to move on to the next page, or level, as it were. Now picture it's 1986. How much would you pay me to take this test just for an hour. If you have a very bad imagination, here's a hint to the right answer. I know, I was there. That has to be the greatest YouTube clip of all time. So as a science YouTuber, sometimes I feel people have framed the act of learning science in a negative way. It's been taught poorly, so it feels scary to them. It feels something more like this. And my approach is to take the same physics lessons you might have hated and to try and sort of trick you into learning something through something cool. Basically to go from this to this. So for example, in this video I made a hot tub with liquefied sand. And this is another one of my nephews with unexplained trust issues. I explained in the video that it's a fluidized bed, and then we talk about the principle of buoyancy and how it makes the whole thing work. And I use several examples, like, the blow dryer with a ping pong ball like this. I like to think my approach to science is similar to velociraptor hunting patterns. So I get people to come in with something cool and amazing, like the sand hot tub, and then when they least expect it,
Clever girl.
admittedly, the analogy breaks down a little bit right there at the end. But by reframing the learning process and focusing on the cool end goal, the fear of failure is often taken off the table, and learning just comes more naturally. I'll close with this thought. Someone came up with this cartoon, and I totally love it. This is so true, but often in life we tell ourselves that the top version is what we want. That's what we expect. But then something happens. Maybe it's a really bad grade on a test, or a meeting with a client that goes horribly wrong. Maybe it's a bad breakup. Maybe we miss a wide open shot. Some kind of green shell hits you. And so at that first setback or sign of failure, doubt creeps in. We tell ourselves we're not good enough or we're not smart enough. And yet, if the bottom rectangle here is a game where now your bikes crash and you have to get your bike across with a flag, it's not, oh, I hit these rocks, I'm just going to leave my bike here, I'm not good enough, and you quit and walk away. You see that flag to the right and you're like, nah, like what did I just learn? You're like, okay, next time I think I'm going to come out with more speed and I'm going to lift the front of my bike up. You want to try it again. You're immediately excited to go for it again. We sort of tell ourselves we want our life's challenges to look like the top one, but that's boring. If that were a real video game or a book or movie, that went out to the market, it would be a total failure. Nobody would buy it. Where's the risk and the reward? Where's the challenge? There's no feeling of satisfaction. The bottom picture is real life, and that's not a bug, that's a feature. Think about anything that means anything to you in life. Whether it's a degree, a relationship with a friend, or someone in your family, maybe a professional accomplishment, I can guarantee you it came from something that looks like the bottom and not the top. Failing and failing and failing and eventually succeeding to the point that it now holds value. Just like the most meaningful high fives of my adolescence were those when I said, dude, I finally beat Bowser last night. I feel like a lot of the successes in my life have come down to the Super Mario effect. And while framing challenges like this has worked for me, of course results may vary. Everyone is going to be different, and I don't know exactly what it looks like for you to take this principle and map it into your life. But if we got these very real results from a very different cross-section of very unique people, clearly I'm not alone. There's some universal principle at play here. By shifting your focus to the princess and treating your life's challenges like video games, you can trick your brain and actually learn more and see more success. Thank you.
Unbelievable. Todd, I'll have no words. I think he said everything we needed to say on the back end of what you started out with. It is just truly amazing. All else I will say is I learned to change my habits. I now listen to TED Talks on a consistent basis. I now look at and listen to Audible books, etc., on a consistent basis. That's why I learned some of these things. And when I have failures, it doesn't affect me. I'm looking at the end result. I'm not looking at the result that happened right at that moment. Failure is not the end all. Failure is a learning experience. But Todd, that video and the video Danny shared with us a week ago will be up today on Learn This Training. My recommendation is go back, watch that over and over and over again, get your team to watch it. You understand that concept, you're just, months away, a year or two away from reaching your goal of becoming successful here with Travorium.
And kind of proof of that video, Eager and Larissa, by the way, are running this 100-person challenge with their team right now. And we were talking about that with her the other day, and it was crazy. They actually had people that were on the verge of quitting the business that then said, hey, can we be part of the 100-person challenge? And for some reason, by doing the 100-person challenge, it helped people divorce themselves from the results, which is what you should do anyway. It's not personal, but it became more about, man, I'm just trying to get 100 on the Zoom. Okay, Bob said no, but maybe I can get Karen. I mean, it's like it turned it into a game, and they weren't worried about who said yes and who said no. And by just doing the activity and, okay, I just got to try to get 100 people on the Zoom over the course of a month, they divorced themselves from the result, got people there. And as a result of getting a bunch of people there, guess what? Success. No different than your guy. The difference between people who succeeded and didn't was 5 tries versus 12 tries. Or like you mentioned earlier, what if you'd have quit on the 8th call or 10th call versus the 357th call to Danny? It's simply getting people to stand in the box, get in the game, and just take your hacks without being emotionally tied in any way, shape, or form to the outcome. And again, guys, when you really get mature in our business, right? When you've done it a long time, you'll really, truly, truly, truly know and know that it's not about me. It's not about Daryl. It's not about you. It's not about travel. It's not about money. It's about them. Is the timing right for them in their life? And if you're truly being a servant leader, you want to help people get what they want. And for some people, the time is not now. And as a servant leader, you should be okay with that. If you keep trying to push them to do something they don't want to do, now you're making it about you, not about them, right? And you don't want to become one of those annoying people. You're pushy, right? I mean, instead, just say the timing is not right, move on and find the next person. It doesn't mean that we won't get them later. It doesn't mean the circumstances won't change. Many of these people will call you back a month from now, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, right?
6 years from now.
Yeah, 6 years from now. But by the way, Mark Robinson just signed up. He's on a trip. 9 years, from when we were working with him back in 2014. He comes on board, puts a bunch of people in a 9-year window there, right? Amber Smith, shout out to Amber. Again, 9 years before she signed up. I mean, so guys, if you're in this as a professional over the long game, don't worry about when they sign. They'll eventually come because everybody wants what we have, okay? And when I say everybody, I understand there's a few that don't, right? But I mean, across the board, right? I mean, there aren't very many people that are saying, Todd, really? You got to go to Paris, then Barcelona, and then you got to go to Madrid, and then Copenhagen. Man, that just sucks. I'd hate to be you. You got to take all those vacations. Man, that's really awful. And while you're gone, your check's going to show up, whether you work or not. Oh, man, I wouldn't want that. That's horrible. I mean, I don't know of a single person who wouldn't want to go on vacations, have fun, be with their friends, get paid whether you work or not. I wouldn't want that. Trust me, they all want it, right? The only question is whether or not they believe it, or they're skeptical, or they're this, or they're that, or what will people think of me? And oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? They're letting all of that other stuff psychologically get in the way. And that's a big part of the video that Daryl just showed you. It was nothing more than psychology. When they took a fake 5 points away, they're not even real, but the fake 5 points kept people from trying more times than the ones that didn't. Guys, this is pure psychology. That's why we talk about 10 pages of a good book every day, 15 minutes of audio. I'm going to tell you guys a famous story. It's a story about an insurance company in Chicago, and they were struggling sales-wise, right? I mean, sales were slumping. Company was having major issues. All the sales reps were like, hey, we don't have the right product. Our pricing's wrong. We need better training. We need this. We need that. And nothing was working. So they brought in this consultant. The consultant says, you know what your problem is? You guys just aren't talking to enough people. And all the insurance guys are like, man, this guy doesn't even know insurance. He's never sold insurance. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's talking about, right? Well, the company said, hey, look, we're taking his advice. Do what he says or you're fired, right? So he says, you got to go out and knock on 60 doors a day and say, you wouldn't want to buy insurance, would you? What, are you kidding me? That's this guy's sales pitch? The company, these guys have lost it, man. They're paying this guy money, and that's your best pitch? You wouldn't want to buy insurance, would you? This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Well, do it. You're fired. Fine. I'll go out and do it. All they're going to do is slam the door on me. You wouldn't want to buy the insurance, would you? You're right. I wouldn't. Slam. Well, want to buy the insurance, would you? You're right. Slam. We want to buy the insurance, would you? You're right. Slam. But before they got to the 60th door, something magical happened. You would want to buy the insurance, would you? Oh my gosh. My wife and I were just talking about the fact that we need to buy some insurance. God, come on in. By simply knocking on enough doors and talking to enough people, they found the one or two who were looking to buy some insurance today. And that's all this is for you. Now, you don't have to go just to 60 doors a day, right? No one's asking about knocking on doors. I see the thumbs up. Hey, Miss Maria. So no one's saying knock on 60 doors. Okay. That's not the strategy here. And no one's even saying 60. We're simply saying, can you invite 3 to 5 people every day and be divorced from the results? Can you do the 100-person challenge? And the next 30 days, invite 100 people to the Zooms. We have them all week long, right, man? Get my team together, man. We're going to track all the names, how many invites, how many showed up, how many signed up, just turn it into a game. And at the end of it, you're like, I can't believe that worked. I mean, it's like, just do the numbers. But Daryl, those are my thoughts. I love the video. It was great.
Yeah, it's just amazing, guys. And the one thing too is that I say it all the time, Todd. You know what's coming right now. While you are going through the process, while you're going through the valley of disappointment, the worst thing that will happen to you is you are going to take 2 to 3 unbelievable vacations every year. So just put that out.
That's your valley of disappointment, by the way.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. And we just try and find words and ways to change it up every time. But guys, that is the worst case scenario out there. While you're learning to go through this process, you're going to have the best travel in the world. And Ty, we even when we talk about that, we talk about the getaways and the world tours. We don't even talk about platform number 1 that you can book anytime you want. Maria and I have been doing a lot of Zooms and actually kind of doing some back office guys privately to some individuals, and we're showing them even in platform number 1, trips out here in Vegas. Everybody wants to come to Vegas. They're saving $400 to $500 over a 4-night stay comparative to when we show them, booking.com or the other places, just on that alone. So we're talking about the 2 to 3 amazing vacations. Guys, that's in the Getaways in the World Tour. Unbelievable. But you can take 8 or 9 vacations if you just book and want to save $200 to $500 using the other platform. It is a game changer. There's a guy with a question. Do we have Devon Miller? Do we have training on how to save on travel using the platform without referring people? Well, again, I just gave you an example of that. We were showing the guests, people that wanted to see it. We just went and showed them the back office. Here's these dates here. Here's the dates for booking.com. We save you $500. They charge you $500 more bucks. So again, that's pretty easy, Devon, when you take a look at it. You just got to show the product. When you show Dubai for 6 days and 5 nights at the Hyatt Regency Galleria for $99, you're not going to find that price anywhere on the planet. You could even say, if you find that price anywhere on the planet, I'll split the difference with you. So again, that's the easy part. All you got to do is have somebody go in the back office with you.
And hopefully somebody trained them on how to use them.
Yeah, and hopefully somebody will train you how to use that, how to go in the back office. But that's easy. You just go pull up the deal and you'll notice that ours are, typically much, much, much better than anybody else's.
Yeah, by the way, I love that whole I'll split the difference with you. And it really works great on the one for Venice because it's $1. Hey, if you can find Venice, Italy for less than $1, I will split the difference with you. And I do a longer rendition of the value for everybody out there. I'm just going to give it to you guys for whatever it's worth. When people say, what's the value of this membership? I say, look, there are many people who save the cost of the membership just with the shopping and dining. There's all kinds of incredible discounts back there. But let's pretend for one moment that's not you. A lot of people save the cost of the membership just with the entertainment portal, show tickets, concert tickets, NFL tickets, all those kinds of things. I believe, oh, come on, it's going to be, I think it was Alicia Davis just saved like $1,500 on her Beyonce tickets, right? She saved the entire cost of the membership on one purchase of tickets. But let's pretend for a moment that's not you. Many people will save many times the cost of the membership just by booking a couple of hotels, rental cars, cruises, excursions, right? Again, many times the cost of the membership, but let's pretend for a moment that's also not you.
That's not you.
Many people will save multiple times the cost of membership just in the tax savings. Work in the business like a business with intention for profit. Let's pretend that's not you. Many people will go out and get 3 and it's not even coming out of your credit card. Let's pretend for a moment that's also not you. Let's assume this comes down to just 3 vacations, paying $1,500 a year divided by 3. That's $500 a vacation. Well, Daryl just gave the example of the Hyatt Galleria in Dubai. You got to pay an extra $99. So that trip cost me $500 plus $99, cost me $600. Can I go to the 5-star Hyatt Galleria waterfront with breakfast for 3 people in Dubai for $600? You can't even buy the breakfast for $600, and you're getting 3 of those trips. Guys, the value on this thing is so incredible. You would have to physically go out of your way to invent a new way to have this thing not be a win for you. And trust me, we have people trying to do that every day. But again,
Exactly.
for the rest of you, if you just, roll with it, right? You are going to get incredible value. It's an incredible membership. You don't have to refer anybody. But here's the thing that happens. Just ask Dr. Renee Smith. I'm not telling anybody about this. That is until you start getting the deals. Your sister finds out, your mom finds out, your brother finds out. Hey, can I do that too? I mean, we're sports parents. Dale and Marie are sports parents. When the other parents heard about the rate you're paying versus the rate they're paying, they're begging for a link. You're like, man, I really got to get 3. I think I got people begging for a link. I've been here in the company 10 years, right? Last month, I signed up 7 people. This month, I've already signed up 2 people. I got another one coming on board. Guys, this is not tough stuff, right? I mean, that's weak sauce. If you're like, I'm not sure if I can get 3. 3, you're going to get 333. Who are you kidding? All you have to do is have a conversation with people, right? Hey, we got something great. Maybe it's for you. Maybe it's not. Check it out. How's your mom? I mean, keep it simple, right? And so, again, just some quick thoughts there, Daryl.
Well, it's just amazing. We've got a lady coming in, Kim Berry. She was the hairstylist for Prince for 30 plus years, and she's a celebrity hairstylist. She just was blown away with the deals, and what her whole thing was is she wants to be able to share this with family members, because obviously they pick her up, take her where she needs to go in limousines and fly her first class, etc., when she goes out and does that. But she said, this will finally allow me to have my family be able to travel like I travel with. So guys, people are out there. You just got to get the stinking thinking out of your head. You just got to decide, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to commit to it. It's going to happen. No question about it. And just as David Hart, the CEO, always said, you just got to take action. That's one thing. He says, take action and things will happen. The other thing David talks about, you got to put it on your calendar. People don't put it on their calendar. That is a big no-no. You've got to, when you first signed up in a business, you already had 24 hours a day pretty much taken care of. So you got to sit down, look at your day and say, well, I don't need 8 hours of TV tonight. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. You got to clear your calendar and put Travorium in there. That's the way it's going to happen. So those are some things that'll make all the difference in the world for you if you're willing to go after. But Todd, we got the greatest company out there, the compensation plan. Todd redid the comp plan. It is the first part. It is up on learnthistraining.com under compensation. It is actually gold in the code for platinum. So if you want to see that within the next couple of days before he gets out of Paris, he's going to have the other aspect of it, the daily pay, back up there. So those are going to be right back up on the site. The video today, this training will be on the site. The Danny video will be on this site as well. So that will be before tonight is out. Those videos will be up and out. But Todd just did a great job in the way he actually broke it down with the new slide presentation. Anybody that watches it will understand gold in the code is absolutely golden. We don't even talk about it in the presentations we do. It is huge. So when your guests see that, you want to show them the gold in the code for platinum. Guys, it is a game changer. We don't even talk about it in our presentations, but now people are going to see it and see it in a special way.
Well, it's funny, Joe, because the gold in the code, right? I mean, that's worth infinitely more money than any of the gig opportunities I showed you before. It's worth way more money than Airbnb or Uber, right? And that's just in the code that we don't even talk about. We just talk about the daily pay, right? Yeah. We don't go show the breakdown of how that happens. So here's what we're going to do, guys. In fact, I'm going to do this for just kicks and giggles. Number one, we're at the top of the hour, right? We try to keep these calls, typically to an hour. If you want, I'm going to walk you through those slides. I'm going to show you a part of our pay program that we almost never talk about. So if you want to learn how the CODA model works, these are brand new slides. It'll give you some great understanding. I get if you need to go, you want to hang up, that kind of thing, right? But I'm going to walk you through those slides real quick. I'm going to be super fast just so you guys get a better understanding of how the gold and the code works. Now, number one, this is all based on our $249. They do it also on the titanium. But for the example, I'm doing the platinum. It's our number one seller by far. The $249 membership, right? Every time one of those is sold, there's a direct sales bonus of 50. Okay. Somebody gets paid $5 at the director level. Somebody gets paid $10 at the 1-star level, 10 at the 2, 10 at the 3, 10 at the 4, 10 at the ambassador, and $5 at the 1-star ambassador. And every time a sale happens, somebody's collecting that money. So here's a hypothetical example. Let's pretend that a sale was made. You made the sale. You just earned a $50 direct sales bonus. Well, let's assume that Deanna, my good friend out in Las Vegas, owned the director code. She got paid $5. Her aunt Stormy owned the 1-star code. She got paid $10. Ronithia owned the 2-star code. She got paid $10. Dr. Phyllis Terry owned the 3-star code. She got paid $10. The great Keith Brown owned the 4-star code. He got paid $10. Ambassador Maria Roberts owned the code. She got paid $10. Daryl Roberts, the 1-star, of course, he's more than 1-star, but owns the 1-star code, right? He got paid $5. So every time a sale happens, here's how the money breaks down. Now, let's pretend for a moment that you were a 1-star ambassador. That means you got all the money. That means you got the 50, the 5, the 10, the 10, the 10, the 10, the 10, and the 5. You just made $110 when you made a sale to me. You personally make a sale to me, you picked up $110, right? Now, let's pretend that I then go make a sale to my father. I just made 50 and you got paid the $5 director, the $10 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and the ambassador plus the 1-star. You just made $60. I sold my father, made 50. You made more money than I did. You made $60. If my father then turns and sells my brother, my father makes 50. You just made 60. My brother sells my sister. She makes 50. You just made 60. My sister sells her neighbor. She makes 50. You made 60. My neighbor sells their neighbor. You made 60. Their neighbor sells their neighbor. You made 60. Let me know if you get bored. Their neighbor sells their neighbor. You made 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, all the way infinitely deep until somebody sells 3. Let's assume that that's me, right? Somebody goes out and makes a sale. I've sold 3. Now I have the director code. Okay. Somebody made a sale. They made $50. I'm a director because I sold 3. I just made $5. But guess what? You own the 1-star code, 2-star code, 3-star code, 4-star code, ambassador code, 1-star. You just made $55 infinitely deep off all those people until I go out and become a 1-star director. I got 8 left, 8 right, become a 1-star. Guess what? Now somebody makes a sale. They make 50. I pick up the $5 director code, the $5 1-star code, but you pick the $10 1-star code, but you pick up the $10 2-star, 3-star, 4-star ambassador, $5. You just made $45 infinitely deep off every single person that joins the entire company until I become a 2-star director. Let's assume I do become a 2-star director. Now, somebody makes a sale. They make $50. I owe the director code. I got $5 on director, 10 on the 1-star, 10 on the 2-star, right? I just picked up myself $25. I'm excited about that. But you just made the $10 3-star, $10 4-star, $10 ambassador, $5 1-star. You just made $35 infinitely deep until somebody becomes a 3-star. Let's assume that's me. I just picked up, somebody makes a sale. They make $50. I just made the 5, the 10, the 10, the 10. I just made 35. You pick up the 10, 10, 5. You just made 25. Now remember, you're making a smaller amount of money, but on a much bigger team. The team's getting bigger, bigger, bigger. There's more and more sales coming through. Now you're going to earn that 25 infinitely deep until I hit the next level. And the next level, by the way, then is 4-star. I become a 4-star director. Now I get to make, somebody makes a sale. I make the $5. I make the $10 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just made $45. You just made $15 infinitely deep on this massive number of team. Eventually I become an ambassador. You're making $5 off my entire organization, infinitely deep, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people until I become a 1-star ambassador. At that moment, you're no longer making money on me, but guess what? I've brought you hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 plus people that you have in your binary code. And you guys can go start as many of these legs as you want. When you do the 100-person challenge, man, I'm going to get 100 people on the Zoom. It's not personal. Just get them on there. Some do, some don't. That's okay. If I get 5, 6, 7 people want to get started, that's 5 to 6, 7 different lines of people where I get to do what I just described all over again. Now, that was just on the platinum guys, right? We also happen to have the I want to go on vacation now travel pack. If you happen to sell one of those, there's a $75 direct sales code. The director gets $1,250. The 1-star gets 30. 2-star gets 30. 3-star gets 30. 4-star gets 30. Ambassador gets 30. 1-star gets $1,250. So let's assume that you make a sale of the I want to go on vacation now pack. They get 2,000 travel points. It's an unbelievable deal. You just made $75. Deanna, she was the director. She made $1,250. Stormy was the 1-star. She made 30. Ronithia was the 2-star. She made 30. Dr. Phyllis made 30. Keith Brown made 30. Maria made 30. Daryl made $1,250. And we go through the cycle all over again. Let's pretend you're the 1-star ambassador and you make that sale to me of $9.99. You just picked up $250 just on this. Plus you picked up $110 on my platinum. I mean, you just made $360 total on me. But we're just going to focus on this pack for a moment. Let's assume that now, I go make that sale, right? And then the commission starts to break down all over again where you're making, all this money infinitely deep on everybody. I promise to keep this short, guys, but we're going to record this for you. We did one version. We're going to do another version where you understand the gold and the code. And when you guys look at that slide.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. When you look at that slide of being an ambassador, Dave Hart only shows $2,500 a month for an ambassador, guys. $2,500, that's it. I mean, I look at some of my checks, it's like $2,500. I mean, talk about lowball it, right? And so, I mean, again, guys, there is a lot of money in that code that you're going to get paid every single week, and we don't even talk about it. You got people over there at Airbnb making $900 a month. We got people making thousands of something we don't even talk about. Guys, that's how incredible this is. So, Daryl.
And Todd, there's some people right now that just had an epiphany that they're looking at this. I had no idea. I had no idea that extra money was inside of the compensation plan. So hopefully we made some of your days today by getting access to that. I really like how you broke it down to the you, the me, and make it very, very clear. Guys, you can actually get that over at learnthistraining.com, or again, you can watch this video, fast forward to this segment right here, and actually do that on Travorium training. But this video will be there, plus the compensation plan is there. Todd's going to be adding another one to it within the next 24 to 48 hours. So we'll have all the compensation plan there. And you can also, when you send it to people, let's say if you're sending it to a brand new person and you don't want them to see all the other trainings and stuff, what you could actually do is, I turned the camera off, so he's fine. What you can actually do is you can put, learnthistraining.com/compensation, and it'll take them directly to that. So if you had a key person wanted to see the breakdown of the compensation, you don't have to send them to learnthistraining.com and see all of it. You can go learnthistraining.com/compensation, and Todd, they can actually see that. We've got some work being done on our patio right now. So that's where I closed the camera while they were bringing stuff in.
So Dale, pretty amazing. I got someone dogging me for my shirt, calling it pink. This is not pink, guys. This is coral. Now, this is pink, right? So for the 2-star director, talk about my pink. This is pink. Just bought this the other day. I was at the Polo outlet. So this is pink, right? Now I can go to the Barbie movie, right? With Daryl, wear my pink shirt. I'm not going to the Barbie movie, but I did buy a pink shirt. By the way, we do have our CEO and founder here on the call with us today, Mr. David Hart.
Hey guys, just listening in the background. Great job today. Hey, you can also go to Travorium.com/compensation to see the training. Yeah. And I'm going to personally do a training on our comp plan and walk you through every step of how we make money at Travorium.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So, all the resources and stuff, you can find a lot of the stuff at Travorium.com, and then obviously in your back office as well. Just a quick update on that. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Great job.
I appreciate that, David. I know we got somebody else on here too. I don't know if it's Danny or anybody else. Coach D, anybody else want to come on before we close it out, guys? We went a little bit over today, did some extra innings there. Obviously, you got to hear from our CEO and founder. He's going to be recording the compensation program himself. Again, you can go to Travorium.com/compensation. There's a compensation plan there. We'll get all the different stuff up there. There's the guy that's always on fire, Danny Bling Bling. Got to be with you in France in just a couple of days, my friend.
Yes. I want to come on real quick. Just say, show me the money. Show me the money. Damn. Todd, congrats. Wow. Amazing. Okay. You know what? We don't talk about it often enough, but there's so much money to be made. Now, I just want to make sure everybody out there that's listening today, are you guys hungry? Are you guys going to go out there and share and share and share and share? I hope you guys saw the numbers. By the way, the TED Talk too. Ooh, that got me fired up. I want to play some video games now. Now, I'm going to take my whole business and I'm going to plan behind the whole video game concept because we're having fun. We're playing games. Sharing with some people is like falling in the pit, right? Sharing with some people is like the dragon just sending some fire on you. Like, ooh, that's on fire. It's okay. I'm going to go back at it. Every time I get a no or rejection, I think about it as a game. It's like, oh, really? You said no to money? Man, you don't know. And I keep on going. Make it fun, guys. That's all I want to say. Make it fun. Oh, little man. How you doing, little man? Little man learning about money real quick. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Oh, you got two little men. Oh, hey. Hey. Family business.
Hold on, Joe. We got you on mute for some reason. I don't know why. Hold on. We'll get you unmuted.
Yeah, this is Ollie, and that's Charlie, and that's our daughter, Austin.
Hi, Austin. Hi, Ollie. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Maria.
Sorry, Dan.
No, it's all good. So that's all I had to say. Go out there, make money, share. The one thing that's really important, doesn't matter if you know exactly how it works out, just know that the company's been paying out every single week for the last 11 years. So go out there, have fun, and share. And don't worry, the money is coming.
And by the way, here's how you guys get to see it. I showed you guys this last week. This is my 9-month-old granddaughter. These are the first steps she ever took. This is how you're going to get it done, guys. One step at a time. It's not going to be pretty at first. There, look at that. Her first step ever, right? And then you're going to watch her. She's hitting the thing. It stopped. It's not moving. Then she'll go down here in a moment, right? But guys, one step at a time, right? It all begins with that first step. You think oh man, Mom, I only took one step. It's just, I can't do it. It's not for me. No, she keeps standing up, falling down, right? You know what I mean? So again, it's part of the process. Embrace the suck, right? At first you're going to learn, then eventually you get to lose the L and you get to earn, right? Everyone goes through the same process. Hey, tomorrow night, Sunday night, we have our fireside chat. Coach D, Pastor Mel Keys, they do an amazing job. They're going to be on here Monday night. We're going to have our corporate update call. On Tuesday night, two of the very best to ever do it. On Wednesday and Thursday, two new guest speakers. We're going to have Kwani on Thursday. Haven't locked in the Wednesday one yet, but they're going to be here for the next couple of weeks while we're all in Europe filling in. They are unbelievable. They are bringing the heat. I promise you're going to want all your best people on there. Hey, guys, we'll see you tomorrow night. Till then, hey, don't let the day go down without talking to 3 to 5 people today. Read 10 pages of a good book, 15 minutes of audio. God bless. Bye, everybody.